So media rights. Phil has, with his whole debacle and craziness that's happened on the tour recently, media rights has really come into question. People are like, well, what does that even mean? What are media rights? Why do you want to own your media rights? And what are those? And so I wanted to talk about kind of the future of what I think, where I think golf is going. And these NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens. What is that, right? I mean, it can be confusing. Like a fungible token, let's say, is like $100 bill. I have $100 bill, and it could be a bunch of, it could be some $20 bills. It could be a bunch of $5 bills. It could be $101 bills. It could be broken up into many different pieces. I could have 100. I could buy this for 50, and I have $50 left. Okay, that's a fungible token. A non-fungible token is like a painting, the Mona Lisa, right? I can't take a cut out of the Mona Lisa and then give it to you and, well, that's worth this amount. No, the whole thing's worthless now, right? It's one piece and it's non-fungible. So media rights and NFTs, which they're commonly referred to, are ways in which like a Bitcoin that's a fungible token, but it's a Bitcoin blockchain piece of value. Okay, so an NFT is the exact same thing, except it's non-fungible, meaning it's like a digital art, and it's blockchain, and so its record and its history is forever in the computer blockchain world, unhackable, supposedly. I think these things are being hacked lately. Well, who knows? Nonetheless, all right, we won't dive into that. But what does this do? Okay, so if Phil Mickelson owned his shot, let's say, of him at Augusta on 13 that shot through the pine straw onto the green, which he missed the eagle putt, made birdie, whatever. But that shot, we all have the famous shot, right? If he owned that video of that shot, right? Now, I could record it on my phone and sort of own it, but I don't own it, right? So if he owned that piece of media, this is why these competing golf leagues are interesting and something the PGA Tour, who knows what they're going to do with this or not going to do with this. But if there was another league where they said, hey, all your digital media, you own a piece of that forever. Well, see, that's incredible. Here's why. Because if Phil owned that shot, right, then every time it gets licensed to somebody, right, well, it's blockchained. It's on the blockchain, so there's a record of it, and that person used it for a commercial or whatever. Well, Phil could get a piece of that action. He'd get paid for it, right? Because he owns that digital media, a piece of it or all of it or whatever portion of it there is. Well, he could pass that down to his family forever, generation, like for eternity. That could be in the Mickelson family or until, one of his great grandkids is down and out on his gambling debts and sells it off or something. I mean, who knows, right? But you get the idea. Like, that's an NFT. That can be one of those things that these competing leagues, the Saudi league, could offer people to attract them to come into their league, right? So you're not going to get the best players in the world, but if you get these kids coming out of college, you could get the best players in the world. But to attract these kids coming out of college, what a great little bargaining tool of, hey kid, #1 amateur in the world, instead of going to the PGA Tour, let's think a little more long term. Let's think about your kids and your grandkids and their grandkids, and let's think of eternity here. When you win this, tournament that's basically the equivalent of the Masters, and all your shots that are, historic shots, like Tiger's chipping in on 16 and, that ball's hanging on the edge, that shot, well, that piece of media, that's going to be tied to you for eternity. So you might have won $1 million in the event, but just think about the history you're going to have of making money and your kids and their family for all eternity because of this really digital art. And it's a blockchain, it's an NFT. That is what it is. And so whenever that's licensed or sold, or you always own that. You own you, essentially. And so this is, in my opinion, the future of golf and really media in general. If you can negotiate this kind of stuff, now you couldn't really do that yet with like the NFL, because the team basically has your rights. So you're the team owner. But the team owner could own that, and then it could work its way down to the point where if the NFL allowed digital rights to be pieces of digital rights to be owned by other people, you could potentially own a piece of your own digital rights. This is let's say the Masters ticket, a Masters ticket, your plane ticket. It's in your wallet on your phone, right? That's an NFT, that ticket. So your ticket to the Masters. Well, let's say they hire an artist to draw and make this cool ticket, and it's a digital ticket, and you have it in your wallet on your phone. You can't bring your phone to Augusta, but whatever, let's say you can, and you show them your ticket digitally, right? And then that artist goes on to do some amazing things, and you've got 40 tickets of the Masters on your phone that are NFTs that you own. You could sell those, and they could be of value, especially if that artist goes on to do bigger and better things. So there's always these things that are kind of cool with NFTs that are just really new in this world. And when we talk about digital rights and golf digital rights, it's very interesting because golfers are independent contractors, and they come into the PGA Tour, they basically give up those rights to everything. They're saying, PGA Tour, you got everything, and there's really no negotiating. That's where it's not about money now. And I think that's where we kind of get stuck. It's like, oh, it's just about a ton of money. Why are the Saudis offering Bryson $135 million? Well, cool. He gets that reportedly for coming over. I mean, man, that's hard to turn down. But if they give him digital rights on top of that, or if they give everybody else digital rights also when you come over, man, that's difficult to turn down, because that's the real true asset. Think about it. They're still showing clips of Jack Nicklaus. Jack Nicklaus doesn't own that. The PGA Tour owns that. All those clips of Greg Norman, Lee Trevino, Tom Weiskopf, Sam Snead. I mean, all that. Those Ben Hogan shots you see. Ben Hogan's family's not profiting off that. The PGA Tour is. So this is where NFTs, especially in golf, where these players are independent contractors, they should negotiate in some way. And that's where I think these competing leagues really, truly have a huge bargaining chip when it comes to attracting a lot of these players, because it's not just about, hey, there's 50 players, no cut, everybody's guaranteed money. It's, hey, dude, if you hit a hole in one and everybody goes berserk, you own that digital media. That there's an NFT associated with that is yours. You get that. There's a piece of that you have ownership to. So it's kind of like owning a piece of stock, like not just in that league, but yourself, so that you have something like lifetime, forever, and your family has something. So that's the future, in my opinion, of why these competing leagues and NFTs are really going to shake things up in the world of golf.